Hi everybody, welcome back. I did say in my last video that I try and do a quick gear list before I actually go away. It's now Sunday. I'm going away on Thursday, so I've only got 4 days ago. I'm going Thursday night to start the walk on Friday the 13th, so unlucky for some. So this is everything I'm going to be taking. So there's just a bit of a view of all my gear, and I'm just going to quickly run through all the stuff that I'm taking, just so I'm not going to put any stats or any major figures or anything in descriptions or whatever, because I don't know it all. And I'm trying to do this quickly and fit it in the time that I've got, but also on top of that, some of this equipment I've had for quite some time, so I don't know it all off the top of my head. There's not all, only some of this is a few bits of the pieces of this equipment is actually new, especially for this hike. So I'll start off with the big three. So backpack, tent and sleeping system. So backpack is the Exos 48. I've had that for quite some time. Use it for a day pack and I use it for overnight hikes and stuff or whatever. So it's just big enough for larger walks, a little bit too big for a day pack, but I wanted something that would be lightweight and also would do the both. It's not waterproof, so it does come with a waterproof sack cover, which is a little bit more weight and a bit of a pain to cover, but unless you buy a very expensive Cuban fibre or Dyneema type backpack, you won't get a waterproof backpack. However, some of this stuff does go into dry sacks inside, so as well as the waterproof cover, I've got stuff in dry sacks just for added protection, because Scotland's notoriously known for bad weather, and at the moment they've had terrible weather out there, so I don't fancy my chances, so I'm just taking a few extra precautions just to be on the safe side. And I noticed that the temperature's dropping as well. So backpack. Next is a sleeping bag, Outkit 700 Sky High, I think it's called. It's not as lightweight as I would have liked. It's about 1.1 kilos, but it does do goes down to -6. I can sometimes sleep quite cold, so I wanted something that was going to be warm enough, although it's a little bit heavy, and also it's got to be big enough for me to fit in, because I've got quite broad shoulders. So that's the one I chose. It has got a sleeping bag liner inside it, which I'm taking with me, but I either will or won't use depending on how cold it is. But what I won't do is I won't sleep in it without having some sort of clothes on. Don't do it sleeping it in bare skin, because the oils in your skin break down the down. It's got a hydroponic knit wax down on it, and it's also got a DW coating on the outside, so it means that the down lofts better and it resists moisture. And also outside, if I've got condensation dripping on the outside of the tent, from the tent onto the sleeping bag, it will that should run off. So it's got some added protection as far as, because down sleeping bags can perform quite badly in damp, cold weather. So hopefully that will hold up. That is something that's new. So I've used it a few times, but I haven't used it, for really, really bad weather. So we'll see how that holds up. Then we go onto my tent. You'll see there I've got the Lux V4A Hills Seal Hex Peak. That is a TP style tent. You can see the picture of it there. That's the outer fly sheet. In the blue stuff sack is the inner, so I keep them separate so they don't get each other wet. So and it's fly sheet pitch first. And then you'll also notice there's some poles there. Now if I can just reach her, you'll see that's my pegs, and that is a interlocking small short pole there. And what that does is that this tent doesn't actually come with poles, because it's a TP shape tent, so it just has a central pole only. But that little orange connector connects my two black diamond trekking poles together. These come off here. You take these bits off. You turn them opposite each other, and it connects the two together. So that makes one sturdy internal pole. And obviously I've got two black diamond trekking poles. I think which are personally I have suffered with bad knees and bad feet. so they're a must for me, especially when you're doing long distances. Sleeping system to go with my sleeping bag. I've got the Eros Sea to Summit ultralight large pillow, that is new, and I've got the Exped ultralight Sin mat, which is my sleeping mat. That's about 425 grams, I think it is, and that comes with this ridiculously sized bag here, but actually it's a pump, and so you use that, you put that on the end there, and then you fill this up with air, roll it up, and that is a pump. But what that does also do, it doubles up as a dry sack for my sleeping bag. So my sleeping bag fits in there, compresses down nicely. I'm not going to use the sack that it comes with, because you end up with like a bowling ball type, football type size thing in the bottom of your backpack, whereas when you put it in there, I can mould it to the shape of my pack, and it means I can fit more in. So if we carry on going over to the sleeping stuff, so these are my dry clothes. So these clothes will only be worn at night in my sleeping bag and inside my tent. They won't be worn during the day, with the exception possibly of the red Montane Dart t-shirt. So I've got a red Montane Dart t-shirt, so I can wear a t-shirt during the day if I want one. I've got a Montane Dart long sleeved t-shirt, which is wearing at night. Along with underneath there is a very thin, lightweight regatta fleece, just a cheap one. I've got some cheap, very thin long johns as well to wear at night if I get cold. And I've got two pairs here of Montane Primo merino wool boxer shorts. I'm only taking the two pairs for the whole 8-9 days I'm going. And over there you'll see there's 3 pairs of socks. I'm actually taking 4 pairs of socks. I've got 1 pair on. One of those pairs is for nighttime only, the dark grey ones. The other 2, and plus the ones I'm wearing, will be for me to wear during the day when I'm hiking, and they're for me to switch them over each day, so I can always have either clean and possibly dry pair of socks on, because my boots are bound to get wet. My feet will get wet, and there's nothing worse than putting your wet feet into wet socks into wet boots. So at least I can put my feet into dry socks and then my dry socks into wet boots, which obviously are going to get wet, but it is nice just to start off the day like that, so less demoralising. If I get really cold, I've got my Rab Alpine Microlight down jacket or puffy jacket, whatever you want to call it, so I'll be taking that as well. I can wear that around the camp at night, or actually if it gets really cold I can actually fit in my sleeping bag wearing that as well as my night clothes, so I shouldn't get cold. Camp shoes, nice lightweight. These are, most people tend to wear Crocs or they wear flip-flops. Can't stand flip-flops, can't stand them between my toes, it makes them sore and it's really uncomfortable. And I don't like Crocs because why they're lightweight, they are they're very bulky, and I look like a clown in them. So what I've done is I've got these, and I got these for a couple of quid in Decathlon. And what they are actually is swimming pool shoes, and they're for swimmers and divers that walk around swimming pools. Rather than bare feet, you wear these, and they're thin, they're light, they pack down small together, they fold in to each other, as you can see. Yeah, so I really like those actually. They're quite cool, and I use them. You know, I take those whenever I go camping now. External layers. Mountain equipment Rupal jacket. It's a bit heavier than some jackets, but it's quite robust in the fact that it's made of 70 denier material. I'm really clumsy, so I can have really bad habit of ripping stuff and catching stuff on barbed wire. This, because of the thickness of the material and the way it's built, it's bomb-proof really. So I've managed not to tear or rip this one at all whatsoever, so that's pretty good. So I'm taking that along with me. I'm also taking Berghaus waterproof trousers. They're not the ultralight ones, they're the next ones along. I can't remember the name of them, so I use those. And I've also got an ultralight Rab wind stopper. It's not waterproof, but it's a wind stopper, so I'll take that as well with me. And then, just to be on the safe side, now this is something new, and I have only just run it under a tap to see how waterproof it is, and it seems to work quite well. But this is a very lightweight poncho. If I'm going to get 7 days of storms, and Storm Dorian at the moment looks like it might be heading to Scotland, so that I could end up suffering because of that. I might put the poncho over the top. It goes over me, goes over my bag, even with my waterproofs on, and that just adds another layer of protection. And because it's essentially a square that velcros together, it's got eyelets in it, so you can actually use it as an emergency shelter as well. You can put guys and stuff on it. And then coming over to some more exterior clothes, I've got a pair of lightweight gloves. They're thin, they're cheap, they're not waterproof. I've walked mountains, I've been in terrible weather with them. I don't generally suffer with cold hands. I do have waterproof gloves, but I'm not going to take them because I just get too hot in them really. So I'm going to take these, and hopefully I'll get away with it. I've only ever once had cold fingertips, being up some mountain in 40-mile-an-hour winds and snow, rain, sleet, God knows whatever, and I got a little bit cold then. But other than that, I seem to manage okay. Beanie hat and snood. In case I can always sleep in the beanie hat if I'm really, really cold. Won't wear the beanie hat during the day unless I really have to, because I've got a baseball cap type thing that I wear. Actually, what I didn't mention was also there in that white sheet there is actually a ultra lightweight Tyvek ground sheet that I put. Doesn't cover the whole of the footprint of the tent because it doesn't come with a footprint. But it's a strip that I've got that's lightweight, and what it does do is allow me to protect my inner and also give me a place to sit on without getting really, really wet if I'm in muddy or wet conditions, because I've got quite a large that tent has quite a large vestibule, and that allows me then to sit, and if I really have to cook and to chill out really. So I quite like that, so I think that's worth the weight penalty. And then also, so that's all all of that's going. Most of that obviously is going into dry sacks. And then if we come over to kitchen stuff, if I call it kitchen, cooking, whatever, cook system. So we've got Tokes 750ml pot with lid and case. Does come with a bay alarm. If you want to hang it over a bay alarm that you can click over here and hang it on a fire, but I don't need that because won't be having any fires. I've got gas bottle, and I've got the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 lightweight stove in its bag. And then I actually stole this off of another YouTuber, which I won't name him because I don't know if he wants to be named, but he made his own little cup. It's got a measuring cup on the side of this already, on the inside. I don't know if you probably might be able to see it, but on the inside there you can see there's some measures. But actually, if I'm cooking in there, I can use this as a plastic cup, and it's a Nalgene bottle that I've just cut off, just smoothed off the edges, and you can use it as a very, very lightweight cup. Small piece of scourer to go in there from a pot, so and then I put the gas bottle in there like that, so it fits inside. That goes in the top like that, and then this goes in its little bag and fits in there. And then the lid, I've got a lighter here somewhere, lid goes on there, look, and then that all goes in there, and that's it. That's my whole kitchen system. So yeah, cool. Water. One smart water bottle, one Sig water bottle. I won't have them both fill up at the same time, and because I don't think I need it on the West Highland Way because there's plenty of water sources. But I do take a metal one. Not everybody likes them because they say they're heavy or whatever. Actually, they're not that heavy, but I do take a metal one. It is robust, but I can put warm water in it and warm my sleeping bag up if I was particularly cold. As far as being safe with water goes, soil water filter mini. I quite like the mini, and I've got the Knock Outdoors water bladder. That I won't actually carry water on that. I shall just fill that up from the water source, from the river, waterfall, whatever. Screw that onto the end of there, and then you just squeeze the bag. The water comes out the flow end there, and into my water bottle. But also I can then turn that upside down and screw that onto this water bottle like so. If I want to, if I fill this up with dirty water, screw that on there and then just drink straight out of here as well. And that filters all my water. Okay. Carrying on from cooking, small knife. It's a Gerber knife, just a lightweight. Let's just see if I can manage to open it. Lightweight Gerber knife. I've got the lightest one I could possibly find. That is new. Titanium long handled Toke spoon, and I've got a small pot cosy so I can heat a meal up and put the boiling water in it and then put it in the pot cosy, which keeps it hot while it's rehydrating. So let's go over to ablutions, shall we call it. So ablutions, we've got lightweight biodegradable toilet paper, lighter to burn the toilet paper with, hand sanitizer obviously, and trowel to dig a hole with. I'll leave it at that. I don't think I need to explain any more about that than I've already explained. It's pretty much self-explanatory what I need to do with that. Yeah. Over to washing. I've got a lightweight pack towel. I've got a toothbrush, half a toothbrush, not because I'm trying to save weight by losing the other half, it's just the other half kept falling off and was really, to be honest, it was doing my head in. So in the end I decided not to bother taking the other half because there's no point, it just every time I trim my teeth it just falls apart, so I'm just taking half a toothbrush. Vaseline for lips and hopefully chafing. Well, hopefully I won't use it for chafing, but chafing if I really have to. Small toothpaste. Deodorant, which I didn't really want to take, to be honest, because I was going to save the weight. Although this is very, very light. I have to say, it doesn't feel like there's much in it at all. There's only 35ml in it. But I'm taking it purely because everybody keeps, family and work colleagues keep saying those poor people that are going to be travelling alongside you, especially on the way home, you need to do something. So I'm taking it. In there is my wash liquid. So that is 60ml of Dr. Bronner's unscented liquid soap. What it does is that you can use it for pots and pans, you can use it on your body for when I'm in a campsite, and you can also use it on your clothes when I come to wash any clothes that I want to wash. It's also biodegradable, I should add, and it's very good for the environment because it's all natural ingredients. Girl's foot cream. I do suffer with lots of problems on my feet, so foot care, which is hence why I've got the socks and whatever, is really, really important. So Gerbil's foot cream, wash, as part of my chores, wash my feet in the evening, apply the cream, make sure I've got clean socks in the morning. Yeah, so to try and look after my feet as best as possible. And I've also, for that, I've got a small ball. I normally have something a bit bigger than this, but I'm taking, this is the lightest thing I could find that is suitable for me to roll my foot out, my feet out every night, to hopefully keep them in good shape for the next day. Sunglasses case, weighs next to nothing. It's the lightest one. It's a bit bulky, but it's so light. It actually comes from some biking glasses, sunglasses for my mountain biking, but yeah, a bit bulky, but it is really, really light, and it's lighter than any other case, so I'm taking that. Head net, an absolute must to take a midge net for the West Highland Way, the notorious midges. I've been in infested midge places before, and it's really, really unpleasant, so I shall try and avoid them as much as possible. But I have got a midge net. I've got those lightweight gloves over there as well, and I've also got this one there, that's the bug spray, Bug Soother. It's an American brand. They do sell it in Scotland, but it's not well known. Most people use Smidge or Skin So Soft, but I'm using this because I've used it before and I quite like it, and it smells nice. And same again, it's biodegradable, and you can use it on pets and animals, because I have a dog. I'm not taking a dog on the walk, but I do have a dog, and so that's why I've got this one, because you can actually use it on animals if you really have to. Tick repellent. I'm going to take some tick repellent. This is always one of my concerns, is ticks. I've experienced ticks before on dogs and stuff. Not managed to get them on myself, but Scotland is notoriously bad for having them, so I'm taking a bit of some repellent. First aid kit, I've cut this down to a bare minimum really, so a few blister plasters, ticks, some tick tweezers, couple of antiseptic wipes and a few dressings, and just some vitamin I, ibuprofen, and some Imodium and Piriton in there. That's about it. Don't need anything more than that really. On the West Highland Way, you're never going to be that far away from people. It's not, apart from maybe like Rannoch Moor, it's not massively remote, so it should be okay. Over to electronics, I've got the Anker 20,000 milliamp charger, so I should get 5 or 6 charges out for my iPhone. I've got obviously cables in there for my phone and to recharge this up, as long with a double USB plug socket, an Anker one. And the only thing I haven't put in there is my Fitbit charger for my Fitbit. Black diamond head torch. Yeah, I had this for a very, very long time actually. I quite like it, quite use it. Some people find them complicated, but I quite like it. Yeah, black diamond head torch. In here, which I haven't shown you yet, that's my diddy bag. I didn't, in that diddy bag I've got things like they're just bits and pieces. So I've got a credit card that's got some duct tape wrapped around it. I've got a needle and some dental floss, because that's very good for repairing stuff. It's lightweight, it's very good for repairing stuff. I've got some KT tape in there, because I tend to use KT tape for blisters and for strapping, because it's better than blister plasters. I find them rubbish, they come off, they do made in a little bit. And I've got some Dyneema, very lightweight Dyneema cord in there, which I can use for washing line. I can use it for repairing things. I can use it for a spare shoelace if my shoelace is supposed to break. So that's lightweight and it's multitask. Sit mat. Sit mat is to use either obviously for when it's only a cheap £1 job or something, a couple of quid. Really, really light, but it's quite nice just to sit down if you're taking a break and having a cup of tea, or for sitting inside my tent in the vestibule. Lightweight Dyneema wallet card. So I've got my credit cards in there, tickets for my travel, and some coins and cash. Coming over here, we've got pen and my Harvey's 1 to 40 scale West Highland Way map, which I won't go through, but just to show you there, that's got all the stages on it, and I've marked various different points of where I may camp or may not camp, where the shops are, where the no camping zones are, where the bothies are, and water taps, water sources, you name it, it's all on there. So I've got lots of bits and pieces on there, and although I've got a rough itinerary of where I'm going, what I've done on there is give myself lots of options. So if I want to walk further, I can walk further. If I want to make the walk that particular day shorter, I can make it shorter if it's terrible weather. So I've given myself each day 2 or 3 options of where I can and can't camp, or where I'm going to stay the night. So I've left it really, really flexible, because I don't want to be tied to a set schedule. And then I think, other than my food, that's my food. I'm not going to get all the food out and show you, but just to give you a sample, I've only got 3 days worth of food, because I don't need any more of that, because there are plenty of cafes, shops, pubs and places that I can walk off the trail into towns to stop. I'm camping for at least 3 nights, so I've got 3 nights worth of food. just in case I don't manage to find anywhere to eat. And I've got things like the Summit to Eat salmon and broccoli pasta, lightweight dehydrated meal. Fill it up with water, leave it for a few minutes, and then there you go. Kind bars for energy for snacks during the day. Trail mix, I've made my own trail mix. I've got cranberries, sultanas and currants in there. I've got peanuts, cashew nuts, M&M tile style type things with chocolate around the outside. So I've got a couple of bags, 2 or 3 bags of trail mix that you can snack on while you're walking. Bit of porridge for the mornings when I'm wild camping, because I'm the only way to get breakfast. And the most important thing is tea. A couple of coffee sachets in there, but I'm not really a coffee person, I'm more of a tea person. So plenty of tea bags in there, because tea is, for me, is a must. It's the biggest morale booster going, is having a cup of tea. In the mornings, in the evenings, or stopping somewhere during the day in a bit of a shelter to have a cup of tea. That just lifts me. So yeah, can't go with my tea. So that's pretty much everything I'm going. Boots, Sportiva boots. I have got leather boots. I have got walking shoes. I'm not taking walking shoes. I'm going to take my boots because I rolled my ankle earlier this year, and I just being a bit careful and cautious with it. So just give me a bit of added support. I like these because they're they're lightweight in compared to boots. I've had Solomon boots before as well, which I also like, but they're still quite heavy. These are even lighter, so I really like these. They're light, they're comfortable. I put an extra insole in the top to give me extra cushioning because they are a little bit thin, but that's probably because of their lightweight. So I'm taking those. I know if I have lots of trench rain, they're not going to hold out. I'm going to get wet, but that is trail life, really. That's the way it goes. And then obviously the clothes I'm wearing, which will be, I'm going to probably wear shorts, and I'm going to wear some trail tights. I'm going to wear another Dart Montane light t-shirt because they're lightweight. I'm going to wear one with a zip so I can use it for venting, because I like wearing things that vent. My fleece vents, my shirts vent, and I've got various pit vents and stuff on my jackets, so I like venting so I can cool myself down and heat myself up as I need it. And that's pretty much about it. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, 3 days to go, 3-4 days to go. Really looking forward to it, really excited. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit brief, it's a bit messy laid out on the bed, but time, as I said, is a bit tight. And hopefully I'll be able to, you'll see me doing a bit of travelling on the way up there, and you'll see day 1. Hopefully I'll be able to post that when I'm up there, but it all depends on the internet, really, on whether I get a good signal and when I can manage to upload. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you very much. So hopefully see you on the trail. Take care. Bye.